Mangwana ni Malelepo Vukenjani Krekwas Vanabe Africa. Welcome to Africa Good Morning, the news and current affairs show bringing you everything you need to know happening on the African continent and beyond. You are joined by Ashwimberi and Glenora Shupura on Workers' Day. We would like to wish you all a happy Workers' Day. We certainly appreciate your efforts in whatever industry that you may be in. And you know, in this day and age, it's not just about the people in the offices, it's also about the vloggers, the bloggers, the creators, the rap artist. Kendrick Lamar, he was certainly working yesterday. But we wish everybody from every field, every industry, a fantastic Workers' Day.
Thank you for that. Thank you for that. I feel very much appreciated as a worker, and I'm guessing everyone else as well.
Yes.
Now, getting into what you can expect in today's broadcast, Mali forces kill senior figure in Islamic State affiliate. ICJ rejects emergency measure over German arms export to Israel, and Togo's parliamentary election test proposal to prolong dynasty rule. We'll also be talking to Ari Rohat, who will be filling us in on the latest news in South Africa. We'll be right back with your top stories.
Say goodbye summer and hello savings with WB. Buy 2 liters Sunpick cooking oil for $64.99. 5 kg Sugar King white sugar for $87.99. 2 kg Nam milk or Maire for only $43.99 each. Huggies Dry Comfort jumbo packs for $199.99 each. And a pack of 8 one-ply Twin Saver toilet rolls for $42.99. Stay updated with the latest deals and more at www.vurmandrop.com.
Getting into our top stories, Malian forces killed Abu Huzaifa, a leader of Islamic State in West Africa, during a big operation in the north of Menaka. The authorities announced this on state TV. They confirmed Huzaifa's death after the operation in the Inde Limani area, but didn't give more details. Now, the U.S. State Department's Rewards for Justice program offers up to $5 million for information on Huzaifa. He's accused of being involved in an attack in Niger in 2017 that killed 4 U.S. and 4 Nigerian soldiers. Groups connected to Al-Qaeda and Islamic State have carried out many attacks in Mali, Niger and nearby Burkina Faso over the last 10 years. This has made the Central Sahel region of West Africa unstable. According to the International Organization for Migration, over 3 million people in the region have been displaced by the ongoing security and humanitarian crisis as of March.
In our next story, the International Court of Justice has ruled against issuing emergency measures over Germany's arms sales to Israel as requested by Nicaragua, which had argued that there was a serious risk of genocide in Gaza amid Israel's assault on the Palestinian territory. Nicaragua also demanded that Germany resume funding to the UN Aid Agency for Palestinian Refugees, UNRWA, after Israel alleged that some of its employees were involved in the October 7th attacks that triggered the current conflict. The ICJ ruled against the request in a 15-1 vote. The circumstances are not such as to require this exercise of its power under the Article 41 of the statute to indicate provisional measures, presiding Judge Nawaf Salam said on Tuesday. However, the 16-judge panel did not grant the German request to throw out the case altogether. The court will still hear arguments from both sides on the merits of Nicaragua's case, which will likely take months.
Now, Togo's parliamentary election test proposal to prolong dynasty rule. The opposition and religious leaders say the legislation is an effort by President Faure Gnassingbé, in office since 2005, to prolong his rule. Lawmakers passed the legislation in March after their mandate expired and is close to being enacted. The West African nation has been ruled by the same family for 57 years, initially by Eyadema Gnassingbé and then his son. Faure Gnassingbé took office after elections that the opposition described as a sham. The opposition says the proposed new constitution makes it likely that he will stay on when his mandate expires in 2025. Authorities cracked down on civic and media freedoms ahead of the vote. Early this month, the government banned protests against the proposed new constitution and the arrest of opposition figures.
Humza Yousaf announced his resignation as Scotland's First Minister on Monday, before he was due to face 2 confidence votes this week, sparked by his ditching of junior coalition partners in a row over climate policy. The 39-year-old quit following a turbulent year as head of the devolved administration, during which support for his pro-independent Scottish National Party has fallen. Yusuf had been facing growing calls to resign since unceremoniously attending the SNP's power-sharing deal with the Scottish Greens in the Scottish Parliament last week. His government had earlier abandoned ambitious targets for the transition to net zero carbon emissions, angering the Greens. The opposition Scottish Conservatives then lodged a vote of no confidence in Yusuf, which was due to be held as early as Wednesday, and which the First Minister was at risk of losing. The Tories, Labour, Liberal Democrats and Greens had all said they would vote against him in the personal vote, forcing him to seek the backing of the sole lawmaker from the pro-independence Alba party. Alba's Ash Regan is a former SNP colleague of Yusuf who ran against him in the March 2023 leadership election to succeed Nicola Sturgeon as First Minister. Yusuf, the first Muslim leader of the major UK political party, said in a statement that he thought winning was absolutely possible, but he added that he was not willing to trade in values or principles or do deals with whomever simply for retaining power.
Now, Kenya's President William Ruto chaired a special cabinet meeting to discuss the flood situation in the country. The floods have killed nearly 170 people in the last month, says Isaac Maura, spokesperson for the government. About 45 people had been confirmed dead earlier in the week when their villages were washed away near Mai Mahiu, which is about 60 kilometers from the capital, Nairobi. But the Kenya Red Cross says the number is higher, with 50 people killed. President Ruto told the media that his government's response to the floods has been criticized as slow by local governments. The president, however, defended his government's actions. He said they would talk about more ways to help with the floods in their meeting. When asked if the floods would be declared a national disaster right away, President Ruto said his first job was to make sure affected areas get what they need. Those have been our top stories on Africa Good Morning. After the break, Ari Hohad brings us the news stories from South Africa.
Introducing 061 Express, brought to you by Synergy in proud partnership with Windhoek Express. Here's your chance to make your voice heard to celebrate the businesses that make Windhoek exceptional. From your favorite coffee spot to the salon that always gets your style just right. It's time to shine a spotlight on the gems of our city. Over the next 8 weeks, it's your chance to vote for your favorites to recognize the best of the best. Nominations open on the 25th of April and close on the 5th of May. To nominate your favorite business, simply save this number, 085-785-6231, and WhatsApp hashtag 061Express or scan the QR code below and follow the on-screen instructions. By nominating your favorites, you're not only supporting local businesses, but you also stand a chance to win your share of 50,000 Namibian dollars in cash. The voting process will be the same as the nominations process, using the Synergy chatbot and the hashtag 061Express. Voting opens on June 5th and closes on June 23rd. Make sure to cast your vote for the best of the best. The winners will be announced on June 28th. 061Express, celebrating the heartbeat of Windhoek. Get ready to make your mark.
All right, it's time for us to talk to Ari Hohad in South Africa. Good morning, Ari. How are you?
Yes, very good morning, Ashwin. Nice to talk to you. I hope it's also a nice Wednesday day, nice workers' day in South Africa. We're resting on a workers' day. So
Yes.
Sounds wrong.
Happy Workers' Day, my brother. Now, from the Electoral Commission talking about ballot papers to load shedding to the veld fires, as well as the tributes being poured in for the fallen boxing champion. Ari, could you please take us through all your stories?
Yes, thanks, Ashwin. Yes, elections is coming up. It's all of a sudden it's May, and May means elections in South Africa, so it's all systems go. 52 parties will fight it out for who can represent the country, and that's the new ballot papers. That's the pink one there, there's the orange one and the blue one as well. For the first time, there will be 3 ballot papers, so everybody must concentrate on only 1 vote per ballot paper. It's for the national and also provincial and regional. So you must pick somebody for the national and the big region, and then your small region or your province that you live in, and the small region. So it's a lot to aim for. In the news again, the MK party, and that's for the wrong reason. Yesterday there was reports of a police launched an investigation into allegations of the MK party signature forgers. So what happens was everybody needed to submit 15,000 signatures to register. And there's strong allegations now from a senior official from the MK that left the party, Lennox Nsobe. He said that many of the signatures were fraudulently done. It's a database of job seekers and funeral associations that they took and got 20 people to forge the information. So that's investigated at the moment. It will go to the prosecuting authorities if the police feel that there's merit. But that's some of the posters. That's what it starts looking like in South Africa. Also, former President Thabo Mbeki yesterday was strong-worded against former President Jacob Zuma. Seems like there's lots of infighting. That goes back to 2007 when he was ousted by former President Zuma as the president. So there's been bad feelings between the two of them as well. But he said that former President Zuma is a wolf in sheepskin, and made quite a few allegations. So that's all bubbling up, and there's some other parties that said the death penalty must come back again. So there's interesting statements being made leading up to the elections. And so let's go straight into the Eskom one then. Eskom, we've had no load shedding for about 35 days in South Africa. It feels funny. The last one was in March, late in March. So apparently it's all going a little bit better. Eskom say that there's sustained generation capacity. That's a big word for just saying that they're managing to generate enough power. And there's actually all they're saying is that nothing broke. So that's what's happening. That's the Minister of Electricity. So there's suspicion also it's election month. So the government trying their best to keep the lights on leading up to elections. That will be good for the elections, and also to set a bit of a mindset that the load shedding is not as bad as it was the previous years. It was bad for the Western Cape. The Western Cape reported in 2023, last year, losses of 12.8 billion South African rand because of all the load shedding. So it will be great if it can remain off. So let's see how the electricity goes in South Africa. And then also related to me, just behind me there on the photo is a part of Table Mountain starting, and we still have lots of veld fires in the Western Cape. That's a big problem. It's rain season that's starting, but it hasn't rained. It's a bit dry in Cape Town, but that's veld fires on Table Mountain. There's still a big one that's ranging at the moment high up, and they've got helicopters and all people trying to assist that. That's what's happening on the ground. Also in the winelands, quite a few veld fires. Interestingly enough, since December 2023, since the last month of last year till now, about 4 or 5 months, there's been 6,000 different veld fires they had to contain. So that's not good for the veld fires, and it's the budget for that is 80 million South African rand annually. So it's quite expensive to fight that. And just to close off, Ashwin, our South African news. It's a sad news as well. We tip our hat and we celebrate Dingaan Tubela, the Rose of Soweto. He's about my same age, and so I grew up watching him fighting for different titles, and he started fighting in 1990. 16 years his career went, and that's with former President Nelson Mandela. He was a hero of South African boxing and sport. He won in 2 weight classes. He won titles. The WBO lightweight title he won in 1990. Then in 1993, he won the WBA lightweight title, and then went up to the senior middleweight in 2000 and won that title as well, WBC. So that's Dingaan Tubela, the Rose of Soweto. We salute you, Dingaan Tubela. Rest in peace.
May his soul rest in eternal peace. Thank you very much, Mike, for bringing us the news stories from South Africa.
Big pleasure, Ashwin, and a great day for everyone. Bye-bye. Bye.
All right, let's take a look at our weather predictions before we return with economic news.
All right, let's get into economic news. The magnitude of the food crisis worsened in 2023 in Mozambique, where 3.3 million people in 72 of 156 districts analyzed faced high levels of acute food insecurity, points out the Global Report on Food Crisis 2024 released yesterday. 3.5 million people, actually released today, 3.5 million people, or 20% of the population analyzed in 72 of Mozambique's districts, faced high levels of acute food insecurity, according to the report drawn up by a network of 16 agencies, including the Food and Agriculture Organization of the United Nations, the United Nations World Food Programme, as well as the European Union. The situation has deteriorated compared to the lean period of 2022-2023. The percentage of the population facing high levels of acute food insecurity in districts classified as crisis level 3 in the FAO's food security classification has increased from 23 to 50%, the report stresses. 2 districts recently analyzed in Cabo Delgado were classified as emergency, adds the report, stressing that 200,000 people had reached the stage of food insecurity in the country by 2023.
South Africa's National Student Financial Aid Scheme is bleeding over 21 million rands a year in corruption. Now, Higher Education Minister Blade Zimande has revealed the scheme has been plagued by several issues, including not paying students on time and not providing proper accommodations. CEO Andile Nongongo was dismissed last year amid allegations of corruption in its direct payment system. Zimande dissolved its board earlier this month following allegations of maladministration. Responding to a recent parliamentary question, Zimande revealed that approximately 21,446,855 rand was lost to fraud and/or maladministration each year since 2017. This will put the total loss since 2017 to more than 128.5 million rand. Despite promises to deal with corruption in the scheme and 14 matters being referred to police, Zimande admitted that no stolen money had been recuperated so far.
All right, we're going to head over to the economic indicators just before Ari comes back with the sport.
Good day everyone, time for international sports news and starting off with soccer news first from the English Premier League from Manchester United. And Manchester United currently outside of the top 4 and will probably not play Champions League next year. That is because they're outside of the top 4 in the English Premier League. News from the club is that the new business partner Sir Jim Ratcliffe is making some changes, and it seems like Manchester United willing to listen to offers to virtually all of their squad. That will include players like Marcus Rashford and also Bruno Fernandes. It is understood that Marcus Rashford might go to a team like Paris Saint-Germain, PSG. They're interested in offering Marcus Rashford a contract. That is because they will probably lose their key striker Kylian Mbappe. Some of the players at Manchester United will not be up for sale. That is some of the younger players, and that is players like Rasmus Højlund and also Kobe Mainoo. And it is Manchester United that currently number 6 or in 6th position on the English Premier League with just a few games to play. And but they also play in the final of the FA Cup, and that they will play against Manchester City. Moving on to Formula One racing news, and the next Grand Prix will be this coming weekend. It will be the Miami Grand Prix. It is the 6th race of the year, and still it is Max Verstappen dominating after the 5 races. He's got 110 points, and then followed by his teammate Sergio Perez on 85 points. Then the Ferraris, 3rd and 4th, that is Charles Leclerc on 75 and Carlos Sainz on 69. McLaren take position number 5 and 6 on the points at the moment, and Mercedes-Benz still struggling with George Russell, the best position at number 7 with 33 league points at the moment. Also news from Formula One is there's still uncertainty at Red Bull if their chief technical officer Adrian Newby will stay with Red Bull. He's got a contract up till 2025, but there's been speculation that he might move away from the team, and that is because in the wake of the controversy that is involving the allegations against the team principal Christian Horner. So that is still not certain if Adrian Newby will stay with Red Bull or move on to another team. And to conclude today's international sports news, it is news from the tennis court. It's the Madrid Open that continues. Results from the men's side, the round of 32, it is Yannick Sinner that beat Pavel Kotov by 6-2 and 7-5. Yannick Sinner is number 1 seed in the men's division. And then experienced Rafael Nadal still continuing to win. He's in the top 16 at the moment. Last 16, he beat Kedrius Sachem of Argentina 6-1, 6-7 and 6-3. And then also Daniel Medvedev, the number 3 seed, beat Sebastian Korda in 3 sets. In the women's side of the draw, it was number 2 seed Aryna Sabalenka had to work hard for her win to move to the top 16. She beat Danielle Collins of the USA in 3 sets. And then it was the 2 Americans, Madeline Keys and Coco Gauff, that played. It was in the end Madeline Keys, number 18 seed, beat the number 3 seed Coco Gauff also in 3 sets to advance to the round of 16. That's international sports news for today. I hope you have a great sport day, and we talk international sport again tomorrow. Goodbye.
E-Ticket, your online ticket solution for events and event marketing, bringing you ease of mind and making sure that your event gets out there. For more information, contact events@nhh.com.na.
Thank you for staying with Africa. Good morning. Let's have a look at the highlights from this morning's broadcast. Mali forces kill senior figure in Islamic State affiliate. ICJ rejects emergency measures over German arms exports to Israel. Togo's parliamentary election tests proposal to prolong dynasty's rule. President William Ruto of Kenya convenes special cabinet meeting as flood deaths near 170. And the Mozambique scale of food crisis worsened in 2023 according to a report.
And with that, we've come to the end of the broadcast. Thank you for joining us on this beautiful Workers' Day. From me, Glenn Rashipura.
And me, Ashwin Berry. Sureja Kanaga.